Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. This is Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to our Wednesdays where we Let's Create Together theme is going on. Today, we're going to make a really cute stationery set that you can make from your 12 by 12 cardstock. And right now, at the time of the video, this is what you can get for free with your free with purchase informations here on the videos. Whether you're joining me here on Facebook or on YouTube, welcome. Well, as we get started, this is the day before Thanksgiving here in the US, and I hope that everybody has a great holiday. It's kind of Thanksgiving's always the kickoff to the holiday season here in the States, and I hope everybody has great family time. As always, when you come on, if you'd like to say hi and where you're from, that would be awesome. That way I can kind of see where everybody's watching from. I'm here in Northeast Indiana, in Kendallville, Indiana. All right. Well, also before we get started on this, I do want to announce that if you're on, especially if you're on my newsletter, you'll be getting announcements about my next card class. It's really pretty. It's going to be with the Delightful Florals designer paper. Let me give you a little sneak peek. My local girls made this last week, and they'll be making it. A second class is going to be offered here towards the end or next week after the holidays. But if you would like to take this class, make sure that you're on my newsletter. You can find my newsletter, subscribe if you're not on it, at createwithdee.com. And then there'll be an area there on my website of where you can sign up for it. We're going to be making an easel card that's got a calendar with a cute little pocket and these beautiful, colorful cards. So we'll be making that. And then there'll be a bonus PDF on how you can make this stationery box that would coordinate with it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure that you're on my newsletter. Okay, well, I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get started learning how to make your own stationery folder from a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Hi, Marge. All right, here we go. Okay, so and as always, I do welcome you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, and if there's anything in here that you like, please give me a thumbs up, a heart, show me some love. It just really helps with all of the algorithm stuff. You guys know all about that. This was a class that I had offered in person, and also I did it at a Fort Wayne scrapbook expo. We had this as a project that you could do. So as you can see, it's decorated on the inside of the pockets. And I've got some of the basic white note cards and envelopes. And whether you use these or traditional greeting cards, you've got a 6-inch pocket that you can gift about 4 cards, 2 on each pocket. Is that. So I thought this would be a perfect time of the year to show you how to do this in case you want to give a gift of greeting cards or note cards, or maybe you do craft fairs. This might be a fairly straightforward last minute craft that you could do for your craft fairs as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I absolutely love to have 12 by 12 basic white or really any of the cardstocks on hand because I like the 3D boxes. I like some of the larger projects that you can do with 12 by 12 or that you need your 12 by 12. So having a pack of the basic white 12 by 12 on hand, I think is one of those essential things. So we're going to start for the portfolio or the stationery set. We're going to start with a piece of basic white 12 by 12 cardstock, and ahead of time I've got it cut down to, this is a 9 by 12. And what we want to do is we're going to, it's scored at 6 inches from either direction. All right, so let me show you what that looks like, and I'm going to get my bone folder. So a 12 by 9 piece of cardstock scored at 6 inches in either direction. Okay, so for our pockets, we just need some simple cutting here. I'm going to cut along the score line. This is where the 6 inches intersect at the short end here. And so I'm first going to go ahead and with my paper snips, just cut up along there and stop where those intersect. And for this, to make our pockets, because there's going to be bulk in here, what I want to do is I'm going to take a little wedge off of either side. So I want to just give this just a little release. And I don't want to cut too much off. I mean, it can be like a 1/16 of an inch on either side. Just something to give it a little bit of a V shape when it's closed. And I purposely didn't put my grid paper down on the white one because with white on white, I thought my gray matte would be better. So something that looks like this is what we want. We just made our pocket. That's it. Now, you know, so that's the grand, it's not really the grand finale, but that's all it takes to make a pocket portfolio or stationery pocket for it. Okay, so let's do some decorating now. I'm using the Beary Christmas Sweeter projects or products from Stampin Up. All of this stuff is retiring as of the date of the video here. So the paper, the Beary Cute punch and stamp set, this is all retiring. So if this is something you want, now's the time to go ahead and get it in. All right, so first what I want to do is I am going to go ahead and continue to put down the pockets here. All we need is some tear and tape on the outer edges here. So I'm just going to get my tear and tape and go ahead and on the outer edges of what's going to be the pocket. So this is a 3-inch section here. So we've got a nice size pocket. And put this up here. Take your pick tool to get that started on the outer edge. And when I fold this up, just make sure that you can line up the outer edges. And go ahead and do that on the other side. All right, so now for the measurements for the decorations. Let me bring these in. This is what your kit would look like. This is my free with $40 purchase this week, now through Friday. So this is what you would get in your kit. All right, let's kind of take some of this out. To decorate the card front here, what we need is a piece of layering cardstock. In this case, I'm using Misty Moonlight. This is cut at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then the Beary Christmas designer paper is cut at 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So let's get this on. Hi, Peggy. Good morning. So I'm using liquid glue. Oops. I keep putting that one that's all used up back in my little holder there. I just need to go ahead and pitch it after this this clacks. This paper is very, very cute. I just love it. And if this is something like if you want to take advantage, also right now Stampin' Up! Has their last chance products like I mentioned. So I'm going to make sure that I have all of the class kits in the mail no later than Monday. So if you want to have this, you know, you'd have it in time to make a little bit or to make something and gift it yet this year, so not a problem on that. All right, so there's the decorated on the front. Next, what I want to do is, why don't we go ahead and we'll decorate the inside too. So on this, what we're going to need, let me get all of my pieces organized here. We're going to decorate the top and the bottom part of our pouches. Let me just bring this in again. So we're going to decorate all of this. Here I've got this matted with Night of Navy. I'm using Misty Moonlight here today, but we're going to decorate the pockets and the backing of it too. So I like to get all of that done. So all of these use the same measurements as far as the matting and the designer paper. So again, with Misty Moonlight, this is going to be, we need 4 of these. These are cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then our designer paper is cut at 2 1/4 by 4. Okay, so, and you know what, that's, let me see here. I think I have this wrong. I'm sorry. I said this all wrong. This is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. There we go. I got the right one. And then this is 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. I will have the link to my blog that I'm going to have the measurements on this. That's why I don't have it up here. You guys will be able to click and see the measurements on my blog here. I've got it all ready to go. Just need to add the video, and then we'll be set. All right. All right, so not to confuse, let me say this again. 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 on the cardstock. And then the designer paper is 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. And so here's like, this is the moose side. I'm going to use this red kind of argyle. I don't know if that's what you call it, but it's not really argyle, but just like this fun little winter sweater looking ones. And then I've got, from that designer paper pack, I've got the presents. So yes, these are all the same measurements here. And while I'm showing this for the holidays, you can make this for any occasion. I've got several of these made up. I have 2 Thanksgivings that I'm going to that I am a guest. And so I'm just going to, I've got a bunch of my, crafts and cards, and I'm just kind of going to make a little thank you packet for the 2 Thanksgivings that I'm going to. And just as a little thank you, who wouldn't like to have this cute little note set? So the presents, I'm going to mat on the top of the pockets. So that just mats right in there. Also, this is another great way to use up your 12 by 12 paper that you have, or I should even say that your 6 by 6 paper. So if you have 6 by 6 or 12 by 12, and you've made some greeting cards, you could definitely make this little stationery set to gift it in. And I just want to make sure that my trees are going up. And because we took a little sliver there, it will be a little bit of that. So you don't want to take too much of your V off, because with the matting, just line it up top and bottom here. And we'll get that. I've got these measurements in force here for my US followers, just to make it easy, and we don't have to think about the 1/8 of an inch. So that's that. And and what I always like to do, I like to have this this ribbon on underneath of the label. Well, at least in this case, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to get my tear and tape out, and we're actually going to put on the ribbon. So let's see here. Where is my tear and tape? There we go. So if you want, you can do the tear and tape in 2 different sections. I tend to just like to go ahead and put it all down at once. So I'm going to put it about in the middle. I'm just eyeballing. And for this one, I want to go ahead and stop a little bit before the end of it, on the right-hand side of what will be the front. And the reason of that is I like to have a little play with where I tied the ribbon. All right, so I'm using the Real Red from the Real Red and Garden Green combo pack from Stampin' Up. So whether, you might get the green, you might get the red on there. I'm going to try to do the red whenever possible, but the green will definitely be pretty as well. I'm going to take this all up. And I think I have, let me see what I have here. I pretty much have about 24 inches of ribbon. And actually, yep, there we go. So I just want to find about the middle. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a little more than what I have here just to make sure we can tie it. So I just kind of folded it in half, found the center, and then the center is going to go right here on the seam. And I'm going to do one side at a time, pull it straight, put it down, pull it straight, and put it down. Okay, so now I have a nice ribbon that will wrap all the way around it. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get our cards, our note cards in here. So I'm using Stampin' Up's Basic White note card with envelope, and you get 20 in a pack, and I'm just using 4 of them. So obviously you could make, 5 sets of these if you do the note card. And all of the note cards for this in particular, what I wanted to do is I'm not going to add any sentiments to the front of it. I just really want to leave it as a note card for my hostesses for the holidays. These are matting layers. All 4 of them are the same for all 4 note cards. The Misty Moonlight is 2 3/4 by 1 1/4, or 4 1/4, and the Beary Christmas designer paper is 2 1/4 by 4. And so that's what all of these are. Again, I'll have the measurements on my blog here in just about 15 minutes after the video or class gets done. You can go and you can just see those measurements and be able to replicate those easily. And just getting this on. I'm picking, like what I did is I kind of picked this winter paper that doesn't really have the presents or anything, because I thought that my hostess or whoever I gift these to, if they wanted to write a thank you note, a winter happy birthday, whatever they wanted to do, it's just that they're just a little note card that they could write a little message to somebody. Now, if you wanted to decorate them with whatever saying that you wanted, or sentiment or stamp, obviously that would be awesome. You just make it your own. But that was kind of my logic of not doing anything on them. Just a nice little winter note card that they can have. And let's see here, get the other ones. So for mass producing this, since the front is the designer paper is 5.5 by 5.5, obviously you can get 4 4 fronts from one sheet of 12 by 12 designer paper, and then about the same on these, because these 2 together would be a 6 by 6. And so again, it's a really nice project to use with your 6 by 6 or your 12 by 12 paper packs that you have. And after you make your cards or your other projects that you got your paper from, this is how we can maybe use up or still play with our the paper. And those of you that have been following me here recently, I'm all about trying to I don't want to, is hoard a bad word? Sometimes yes, sometimes no in the paper crafting world, right, guys? But I'm really trying my best to, during the season that I got the paper, to use up as much of the designer paper as I can, because that way I can make room for the next one. So especially like this time. Okay, so let's see here. As you can see, I put, here's 2 of the envelopes. And if you wanted to, you could decorate the envelope flaps or whatever as well. But those go in there. And do I have the, I don't have the envelopes in there. Let me tuck those in. So 2 on each side. And there we go. Thanks, Joanne. Good morning. All right, so that's the pocket now. So now all that's left is to decorate our front of our stationery set. I've got from the Stitch Shapes die, I've got a larger one out of Balmy Blue and a smaller one out of Basic White cardstock. And I'm going to get our images here from our Beary Cute. Again, this is retiring along with the punch. I have used this Warm Wishes, I don't even know how many times. It's just perfect of a sentiment for warm wishes. So getting ready, my sister-in-law, she asked me to make some treat holders for her that had tea in it. And so I'm going to be making those here on Sunday for her for some things. And warm wishes, you know, when you've got hot cocoa or you've got tea that you're gifting, warm wishes just kind of is great for that. And I'm using, as you saw, Night of Navy. So we'll get that. And then I'll get some scrap Basic White. And actually, when you cut this down to your 12 by 9, you'll have a 3-inch strip of Basic White. That's what you can use to die cut your labels, to do some additional stamping with. So, you know, you're really going to utilize a lot of that extra piece of that design, of that cardstock too. So I'm going to take this little bear that matches the punch. And I've got my Memento black ink. And I'm going to stamp our polar bear. And get my lid on. And I'm going to get the punch. So here's our little polar bear punch that's retiring. I love these characters for my permanent collection for my stamping. It's like you just never know when there's going to be a theme that you're going to need. If you've got anybody that does the polar bear plunge and things like that, you know, what a fun little stamp to be able to, and punch to be able to do some of that kind of fun stuff with. I'm going to have a little accent to our bear. Let me just kind of bring in this up close here. And I've got a little blue highlighting on the polar bear just to give it a little contrast. And I've got my light Balmy Blue Stampin' Blend. It's an alcohol-based marker, which is why I stamped our polar bear in Memento ink, because that's the ink that plays nicely with the blends. And just give him a little, or her a little highlight. And then I'm also going to get my Wink of Stella and give a little sparkle to our bear. So the Wink of Stella has a brush on it that you use the push to kind of get the glitter down on the paintbrush end that comes with it. And you can just add a little sparkle to things. All right, let's do some layering here. I'm going to get my dimensionals. Excuse my arm. Look at that. I got a brand new sheet out yesterday. It's so fun to use up every little bit of the edges on that. And I'm like, oh, I get to use a new sheet. It's so exciting. So I'm going to put 4 dimensionals on this, the Balmy Blue. And get those off. Bring in our project here. And I'm going to go ahead and center that on our stationery front. Going to go ahead now and do 3 dimensionals on our warm wishes. Go just like that. And we'll pop those off. And layer that. And now for our polar bear. What I want to do is I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the top here. Let me just go ahead and do that. And that way I'm going to tuck his paws, his legs in a little bit to give it just a little interest on it. So here I'm going to kind of see how I'm going to put the front paw that's kind of lifted up. So that's just on the top of the warm wishes, and then put it down. That way he's just kind of walking over, and it adds a little bit of other interest just rather than to just put it right on there. Let's see here. I have my rhinestones in the other room. We'll skip that for now. But now here's why, and now we can tie off the bow. What I like to do is leave this nice and long and not cut it off. And I'll kind of explain my reason why. Remember how I said like stop a little short? I think this allows us to go ahead when we tie our ribbon or our bow or our knot. You know, that allows us to tie it right here on the side if we want. Instead of if I went all the way to the end, the bow or the knot would be, you know, we would be forced to have it here. Which there's nothing wrong with that. This just gives me the option to have it here on the side, which is what I prefer. Also, what I would recommend, is not to trim this down. I think like sometimes we want to say, okay, let me go ahead and I'll trim it real close, make a cute little like dainty bow. On something like this, I might go ahead and leave these tails longer. And the reason for that is once you gift it to somebody, they open it up and they use 1 or 2 of the cards. When they go to kind of keep it or to reclose it, and you only have a little bit of ribbon here because we've trimmed so much of it off, they can't retie it. So maybe on something like this, maybe consider leaving a little longer tail so that whoever you gift this to, they can go ahead and, you know, have plenty of ribbon to retie it. Okay, let me go ahead and turn the camera around. And I haven't been looking at the comments, so let me go ahead and see this too. Oh, Peggy, thanks for saying very nice. Oh, very good. Thank you, Janice. I'm glad that you like that to do it that way. Well, I hope that you, oh, and then if you want to add your little bling on the sides of it too. So I hope that you really enjoyed this project and that it's something that maybe you might have time yet, or if you haven't finished doing some handmade gifts, what a wonderful little gift that you might be able to make somebody. I was thinking that like if my grandmother's no longer with me, but she was in a nursing home, and I think that she would have loved to have gotten this. It would take up very little space, and then she would have, you know, 4 cards that she could either mail or send or gift send a little thank you. You could even tuck some postage stamps in there if someone, you know, might not be able to get out and about that much, so you could even do that with it. Perfect little stationery set with your 12 by 12s for any occasions or anything. Oh, thank you. Jana said that my all-in-one treat pouch from years ago was one of her favorites. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, you guys have a wonderful, if you're in the U.S., have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. And I hope that you guys have a lot of joy and blessings and are able to be thankful around friends and family this holiday season. You guys take care. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.